Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller Grosvenor Plummer Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Maller Grosvenor Plummer Attorneys, understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, on the web at lawngp.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. Smithville, fiber internet, security solutions, and voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger and Robertson, attorneys at law since 1949, utilizing experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. The National Science Foundation has cut funding for researchers that not only threaten their work, but their employment.
Work funded by the NSF should improve society is by broadening the participation of underrepresented groups in the STEM field.
The funding cuts are part of the Trump administration's policy to eliminate any program that mentions diversity, equity, and inclusion. With Indiana planning to ramp up installation of solar panels over the next 5 years, the big question is where to put them.
The roofs of superstores and warehouses really are perfect for solar.
One Fort Wayne business is already seeing the benefits of having solar panels on its roof. And after nearly 50 years, Indiana University is bringing back the Hoosier Bison mascot for the fall. We'll have these stories and more right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. The National Science Foundation has cut more than 1,000 grants to align with the Trump administration's new anti-DEI priorities. For researchers at IU, that means not only the end of their projects, but sometimes the end of their jobs. Ethan Sandwise spoke with the team at IU, whose entire funding was eliminated.
Salim Yavuz came from Turkey to the U.S. to study math education. He was part of a team of 12 researchers finishing a 8-year-long project on improving learning outcomes for kids. He was also supporting his family on a modest stipend from the NSF. His wife gave birth to their second child in January.
Since I'm an international, I didn't see any political vision for me because I'm far away in my country. It's not my job for here. I'm just here for education.
But the NSF canceled the grant funding his work this spring, alongside hundreds of others flagged under new guidelines to eliminate anything mentioning diversity, equity, and inclusion. The NSF declined an interview for this story. Spokesperson Cassandra Eichner wrote in a statement, quote, "It is our priority to ensure all NSF awards aim to create opportunities for all Americans everywhere without exclusions of any groups."
It is difficult to understand because it says don't focus only one specific race, but in our findings and projects shows that we are focusing all race.
Yavuz was blindsided. His family lost its sole source of income.
I tried to find another option for summer, but it's too late to find because already positions are filled and there is no more position. And since I'm an international, I don't have permit to work outside of the universities.
His story has become common. As of May 7th, the NSF has canceled almost 1,400 grants, erasing $1 billion in funding.
The goal of the grant was to build a survey for math teachers that would help us understand how they explain differences in different groups of students' outcomes.
Since the 1980s, the NSF's mission, as mandated by Congress, has been to fund projects that improve society. As a principal investigator for the project, Jacobson wrote the 2017 grant proposal to meet those priorities.
One of the explicit ways they said work funded by the NSF should improve society is by broadening the participation of underrepresented groups in the STEM fields.
More than half the grants canceled are for STEM education.
It's confusing for me, especially when we keep hearing rhetoric about how we need a well-educated STEM workforce.
Roan was excited when she scored a coveted postdoctoral fellowship, what could have been a stepping stone for her research career. She was at a conference in Denver when she learned her fellowship had disappeared.
There was a malaise in that conference. I think I didn't attend a session where at least one person had lost funding.
Roan and her husband were one day away from signing a lease in Bloomington. She managed to find a teaching position in Texas, which will pay the bills but leave little time for research. Roan says the dip in salary means it will take them years longer to save for a house, and they had to reconsider their plans to have a second child.
Will probably be one and done, considering how much of a dent this is going to put into our career trajectories.
Jacobson's team was notified the grant was canceled in a brief email, ending the project a year before completion with over $2 million already invested. He says he's received little information why his grant was canceled, and even the NSF officials he's talked to seem confused.
My program officer was really surprised. Grants have never been canceled for this reason before in the history of NSF.
Without funding, there's no guarantee the final phase of the project, actually testing the survey, will ever happen. As a tenured professor, Jacobson's job is safe, but he says losing the support was a punch to the gut.
There's just a waste that's been squandered, that investment. And then just being really unsure about how these people that I work with, that I care about, what's going to happen with them, and not being able to help them in any way.
Tracking NSF grants relies on researchers sharing their own data, since the government doesn't provide information on which grants have been cut. More than $7.5 billion in research funding from the National Institutes of Health has been cut as well. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Ethan Sandweiss.
According to Grant Watch, the National Science Foundation has canceled at least 7 grants at Indiana University. After being extinct for more than 50 years, Hoosier the Bison is returning as the mascot for Indiana University athletics. IU has been teasing the return of the Bison for a couple of weeks on social media, but as Clayton Baumgarth reports on Tuesday, they made it official.
Last December, IU student government introduced the Bring Back the Bison Act of 2024 with the hopes of enhancing the school's identity in the wake of the most successful football season in years. The students' efforts have paid off. The Bison first made an appearance in 1965 with the IU Student Senate inspired by the bison on the Indiana State seal.
They did have a bison, and they had the cheerleaders had someone who had a bison head that was on the sidelines that was part of that whole thing. I thought it was cool. I mean, I'm 12 years old, 11 years old. That's kind of cool.
It was discontinued in 1969, though Nick's English Hut would continue to use a bison in its logo to this day. According to an article in the Herald Times last year, students who wore the bison suit said it was too hot and that they had trouble seeing out of it. Others found the mascot terrifying. Hoosier was followed up in 1979 by Mr. Hoosier Pride.
It was a guy in a big, in a suit and kind of a red sport coat and tie, and it had a big old red cowboy hat with an eye on it, and it kind of looked like Ralph Floyd.
Floyd was IU's athletic director at the time. In an IDS column in 1980, undergrad Ben Blair wrote, Mr. Hoosier Pride is the most asinine and ridiculous-looking character anyone could have dreamed up to be IU's mascot. He was retired after one season. After a failed contest in 1980 to select a new mascot, the school went without one for the next 45 years.
When Lee Corso comes to town for college game day and he picks IU and he puts on a baseball cap, it doesn't have quite the same impact as putting on a headgear from a mascot. So it would have been great to have it this last year, but I think it kind of helped get the ball rolling for the future.
IU's Senior Associate Athletic Director is confident that this time the mascot is here to stay thanks to a strong football season last year and a new head basketball coach.
I think there's optimism around our programs. A lot of times people don't like things if it's associated with losing. So introducing a mascot in a 3-9 football year feels like a bad idea. So I think we've got some wind at our back this way.
Gray says fans will continue to get brief glimpses of the new mascot in the coming months before the full reveal this fall.
We are going to have artwork, like logos that get represented on things, that's going to be coming out over the course of the summer. We'll have some retail available. We know that this is going to be a hit with kids. But, we kept the secret this long.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.
The updated mascot is expected to have friendly eyes and be built like a Marvel superhero. We're joined now by Clayton Baumgarth, who just did that story. Clayton, they didn't show you the bison, did they?
No, I have no idea what it looks like. They're still under wraps.
Okay,
yeah.
Now for some headlines.
Absolutely. A federal judge has paused part of Indiana University's expressive activity policy after an American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana lawsuit. The ACLU suit said the university violated the First Amendment by restricting when expressive activity, such as protesting, making speeches, carrying signs, and peaceful assembly, could occur. IU prohibited expressive activity between 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. The ACLU sued on behalf of faculty, staff, and students, reprimanded for violating that policy. Terre Haute's new city logo and slogan is about honoring the past and shaping the future. It's a yellow and blue depiction of the Vigo County Courthouse, crossroads, and the silhouette of a basketball player. The new slogan is "Meet us at the crossroads."
It's an invitation. It says, come visit, come do business, come build a life here.
Sackbun says Terre Haute's rebrand is also a showcase of pride in local city services despite any challenges from the state or federal government.
I said this at the State of the City. Regardless of the state or federal changes, we are still charged to build better neighborhoods. We are still out there fixing sidewalks, taking down more condemned homes than ever before.
Sackbun says the old city branding served Terre Haute well, but it no longer captures the city's current level of diversity and momentum. Bloomington Transit begins its free downtown shuttle service on Monday. The service will be part of the existing B-Link microtransit service. It will focus on the areas of Rogers Street to Indiana Avenue and 10th Street to 1st Street. The service is focused on making downtown more accessible during the partial closure of Kirkwood Avenue.
What we were trying to do is come up with an idea that we use our smaller vehicles, use the parking garages as primary pickup points, and then get people as close to their destination along Kirkwood as possible.
Connell says the best way to secure a spot on the shuttle is using the Bloomington Link mobile app. Indiana University's Jacobs School of Music is hosting a free ballet performance Saturday night at the Musical Arts Center. As Natalie Fitzgibbons reports, students have worked almost a month on the routines.
Twilight Turnout is a culmination of a 3.5-week additional training program the ballet department offers known as Maymester. Ballet Department Chair Sarah Roth says it not only gives the students in the program another opportunity to perform, but it also gives anyone in the community a chance to attend a ballet performance.
It's a great opportunity at this time period when the school is kind of quiet to offer this opportunity for anyone in the community that's ever wanted to try classical ballet or contemporary ballet or jazzy ballet.
The performance will consist of 10 short dances. It will include a small excerpt from George Balanchine's ballet Donizetti Variations and new world premiere works from faculty members Michael Vernon and Christian Claessens. Since the beginning of Maymester, dancers have been in the studio practicing from about 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, preparing for Saturday's performance. Roth says it's been exciting seeing the students improve and watching their talent unfold this summer.
This timeline that they are capable of achieving really is a testament to how strong the program is, how amazing the faculty is, and how incredible this place is for preparing students for the future.
IU sophomore Cordelia Leff is participating in the summer program for the second time. She says she is looking forward to seeing everything come together. She's excited to not only perform, but to watch her friends perform from the stage wings.
Being able to learn all of these wonderful pieces of rep from our amazing faculty, it's just so special.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Natalie Fitzgibbons.
And finally, Bloomington artists can now apply for up to $2,000 in funding to grow their creative careers. The 2025 Artistic Advancement Grant will support local artists working in a wide variety of fields. The money comes from the Bloomington Arts Commission.
Whether they're studio artists, painters, musicians, or bands that practice in groups, theater troupes, really any individual or group of artists who could use just a little bit of funding.
And Joe, in the past, the grants have helped fund projects such as recording sessions, workshops, and conference travel.
All right, thanks, Clayton. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk.
Spotted lanternflies, an invasive species, are spreading quickly in Indiana and pose a threat to grapevines. I spoke with local wineries about how they're preparing for their arrival.
And putting solar panels on top of big box stores in Indiana could be an answer to those who oppose solar farms. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Asking tough questions to those in power.
There is this consensus that Democrats are somehow out of touch with the voters.
All of us have to do a better job of seeing the very real pain that exists across this country.
What did you make of the high degree of dysfunction within the Republican conference?
I always felt that it was broken.
And covering events as they unfold.
This continues to be a dangerous situation. Almost everyone is either evacuated or lost a home in this fire.
Recently, WFIU and WTIU lost a combined $450,000 in state funding. This loss will directly impact the programming you rely on every day. The mission of public media has never been more vital or more vulnerable than right now. We're deeply committed to providing trusted programming to this region, and we're relying on our community now as much as ever. Help us meet this moment by becoming a sustaining member or increasing your monthly gift at WTIU.org/donate. Thank you.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Local wineries are preparing for an insect with a benign-sounding name, but one whose potential for damaging grapevines could force them to outsource grapes or raise prices. Isabella Vesperini is here to tell us more about the impact of the spotted lanternfly.
Spotted lanternflies are an invasive species that have been seen increasingly in Indiana. Their preferred host tree is the tree of heaven, with over 100 in Bloomington and one just right behind me here in the tailgating fields. Experts say this is a key spot for them to be introduced. Spotted lanternflies often hitchhike and travel via transport, such as on trucks and trains.
People come here from out of state and maybe spend the night. There is the possibility that depending on the time, they might have some spotted lanternfly individuals hitching a ride over.
While not harmful to humans, they suck sap out of plants and produce a honeydew that can create mold and curb plant growth. They will feed on up to 20 tree species, including grapevines. They haven't been spotted at local wineries yet, but Butler Winery worries if it struggles to grow quality grapes, the grapes will have to come from other vineyards.
When we grow the grapes, we have really complete control over how we're growing them, what style we want to produce. When we're buying from other growers, we lose that control over the fruit.
Winemakers at Owen Valley Winery say if the insects damage their grapevines, labor and management costs would increase. That could eventually lead to higher prices for their wine.
We're here to grow grapes and make an authentic product. And sometimes the more authentic the product is, or the more carefully it's managed, the more that cost can trickle down to the customer.
Spotted lanternflies are native to Southeast Asia and were first seen in the U.S. and Pennsylvania in 2014 and in Indiana in 2021. There have been sightings in 14 counties, with Columbus being the closest to Bloomington the pest has been seen.
They'll generally be gray, and oftentimes people talk about the red, bright colors that flash out at them. That only happens when they're flying or their wings are expanded.
To prepare for the lanternfly's arrival, Butler goes through the vineyard almost every day, pruning vines and looking out for the insect. He also uses an insecticide.
We already have material on hand. It's just a matter of really getting the timely application.
Leader Brand doesn't want to rely too much on using insecticides to remove spotted lanternflies.
I could napalm the vineyard with insecticide and remove it of most life if I wanted to, but at the end of the day, like I said, being a good steward to the earth that we participate on and live on, making sure that none of these things affect other living organisms as well.
If spotted lanternflies become established in the area, Butler says the vines will slowly lose nutrients and decline in quality.
Well, in the long run, if we can't grow grapes, we can't have a winery.
You can report sightings of spotted lanternflies on the DNR's website. The DNR asks for verification of the sighting, such as a photo. Reporting from the tailgating fields for Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Isabella Vesperini.
Indiana is expected to add a lot of solar power in the next 5 years. Most of that will be on the ground, something some rural Hoosiers don't like. As Rebecca Thiel reports, there could be another option: put solar on hundreds of millions of square feet of unused space on top of big box stores.
Here at Sweetwater Sound's distribution center in Fort Wayne, employees test out guitars before boxing them back up to sell. There's a lot of activity. Boxes zoom from place to place on overhead conveyor belts, while forklift drivers make their way through traffic on the floor. But it's nothing compared to the energy on the roof. There, more than 260 solar panels help power the building. Tyler Gerardo maintains them for the company.
We do try to use what we can here, and then what is left over and not used by Sweetwater, we send back out to the grid, and that helps kind of reduce the price for everybody that gets a chance to use it.
Companies are starting to put solar on warehouses like this one and big box stores like IKEA, but very, very slowly.
And given that in America we're running short on nature and we need to move to renewable energy as quickly as possible, the roofs of superstores and warehouses really are perfect for solar because they're flat, they're sunny, and right now all they're doing is keeping the rain out.
Newman says if all the warehouses and big box stores in Indiana put solar on the roof, it could power more than 20% of all the homes in the state. There are also advantages to generating energy close to where it's used. Newman says 9 out of 10 Americans live within 10 miles of a Walmart. If they all had solar and battery storage, she said Walmarts could become resilient community hubs.
In the event of a tornado or in the event of a hurricane, Walmart still has power and it still has light and it has refrigeration and could become the place where people go to charge their phones and where they can go to get cool water.
So why aren't more businesses doing this? Newman says there are a number of reasons. She says solar would undoubtedly save a big energy-hogging store like a Target money in the long run, but there's still an upfront cost.
So anything that doesn't pay back within 2 to 3 years, they can struggle to justify to their shareholders.
Solar on a warehouse, on the other hand, would probably generate more energy than what the warehouse itself can use. Unless it can sell that energy to someone, like a utility or a community solar project, Newman says it might not make financial sense. That's where Indiana lawmakers can make the difference.
So if there are state incentives that are put in place to help encourage solar on the built environment, like superstore roofs and warehouse roofs, you can change the business calculation of the solar developers.
Things like higher rates for net metering. Those are the credits folks with solar panels get on their electric bills for sending excess energy back to the grid. Indiana's large investor-owned utilities lobbied to pass a law 8 years ago to phase down higher net metering rates. Reinstating them would help big box stores and warehouses pay off their solar panels faster. It certainly worked for Sweetwater, which got a better net metering rate from its rural electric cooperative. Altogether, the company says having solar saves it more than $160,000 a year. But Jeff Osterman, Sweetwater's chief people and culture officer, says that's not what drove Sweetwater to do it. He says the company has always tried to be an environmental steward. It's something customers want to see.
We were excited to be able to do it, and I think what we found out in the process is it was actually way more accessible for us than maybe what we had even initially realized. And I think others who would be looking at it, other organizations, may very well find the same thing.
To avoid the worst effects of climate change, scientists say we need to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. That means transitioning toward cleaner sources of energy like solar fast. Solar developers say a patchwork of local laws in Indiana make putting large solar farms on the ground difficult. Indiana's warehouses and big box stores may be a creative way to get some of that solar back on the roof. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Rebecca Thiel.
And a woman in Greencastle has found a unique way to connect with her community by creating a free keychain library. As Katie Spack reports, the installation has become a hit with locals.
Josie Scroggin has earned a reputation in Greencastle as the keychain lady. She started the Greencastle Keychain Library about a year ago.
I've noticed we've had a lot of the free little libraries showing up. So I was like, well, why not keychains? Because I'm sure there's people out there who like keychains. So give it a try.
She was mainly inspired when she saw the Portland Keychain Library online and knew right away she wanted to create her own locally. She installed it at her family's home on Wood Street. Scroggin estimates she has about 1,000 different items. The community has continued to support the library with donations of toys and keychain materials.
People have ordered stuff off of Amazon and said, hey, I ordered this. I'm just going to leave them here. Okay. I come to find out it's big boxes of just all kinds of keychains, toys, and I try to pay them back, and they say, don't worry about it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Anyone can take part. All she asks for is a fair trade. Take a keychain and leave a trinket, or swap out a keychain with one you already have. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Katie Spack.
That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller Grotner Plummer Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Maller Grotner Plummer Attorneys, understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, on the web at lawngp.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. Smithville, fiber internet, security solutions, and voice in southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger and Robertson, attorneys at law since 1949, utilizing experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.